What if science could offer you something perfect? A flawless body, a younger face, a second chance. Would you take it? But what if that perfect version of you didn't want to share your life? What if it wanted to replace you? Welcome to a world where youth is not just an obsession, it's a dangerous experiment. Today, we're diving deep into The Substance, a movie that blends body horror, beauty culture, and identity into a chilling nightmare. This isn't just another horror film, it's a brutal commentary on aging in the spotlight, the dark price of perfection, and what happens when your biggest enemy is your better self. Few people know the story behind its creation, from its jaw-dropping effects that shocked film festivals to the way it uses split identity to mirror real-life struggles with fame, beauty, and power. In this video, you'll get a full spoiler-free breakdown of the plot, the hidden messages the film hides behind the blood and screams, why critics are calling Demi Moore's performance a career rebirth, and some lesser-known facts that make this movie a bold, unforgettable experience. So stick around till the end, because the more you learn, the more disturbing it becomes. This is Movies Review, where we take you deep into the world of film, beyond the surface, beneath the skin. Make sure to hit subscribe, because the next story might be even darker than this one. Let's begin with the essential details of this bold and disturbing film. The title is The Substance, and it's directed by Coralie Farge, a filmmaker known for pushing boundaries both visually and emotionally. You might remember her from the brutal revenge thriller Revenge back in 2017. With The Substance, she takes things even further, into the skin, the psyche, and beyond. The movie stars Demi Moore in a role that many critics are calling a stunning comeback. She plays Elizabeth Sparkle, a former TV fitness icon grappling with the cruel passage of time. Alongside her, Margaret Qualley portrays Sue, the younger, more perfect version of Elizabeth. Her performance is wild, intense, and unpredictable. And then there's Dennis Quaid, who plays the sleazy media mogul, adding a twisted, almost cartoonish edge to the movie's sharp satire. This film belongs to several genres. Yes, it's horror, but not just any horror. It's body horror at its most extreme. It's also a piece of social satire, targeting society's obsession with beauty and the entertainment industry's brutal treatment of aging women. The movie is in English, but its visual language is universal. Disturbing, symbolic, grotesque, and strangely beautiful. You won't just watch it, you'll feel it in your bones. With stunning makeup effects and a surreal, dreamlike visual style, The Substance delivers a sensory experience that's unforgettable, even haunting. It's not just a film. It's the story of The Substance begins with Elizabeth Sparkle, a once famous fitness star known for her energetic workouts and glamorous on-screen presence. But time hasn't been kind to her career. As she turns 50, the industry casts her aside, brutally labeling her as outdated, irrelevant, and no longer marketable. In a world obsessed with youth, her worth is measured by the smoothness of her skin, not her talent or legacy. Devastated and desperate, Elizabeth signs up for an experimental procedure called The Substance. This underground treatment promises to give users a second chance by creating a younger, more beautiful, more ideal version of themselves. The catch? You don't just look younger. The drug creates a fully separate, living clone of you, physically perfect, emotionally pure, and socially magnetic. Elizabeth's new self is named Sue. She is everything Elizabeth once was, and more. The two women take turns living out in the world, 1 week at a time, while the other rests in a strange kind of biological suspension. At first, it seems like a miracle. Elizabeth feels powerful again. Sue becomes a media sensation. But very soon, cracks begin to show. Sue begins to enjoy her time a little too much. She starts making her own choices, breaking rules, disobeying the schedule, pushing boundaries. The balance tips. Elizabeth realizes she may be losing control, not just over Sue, but over her entire identity. What follows is a terrifying spiral of jealousy, rage, violence, and transformation. What started as a dream of beauty turns into a battle for existence. Who has the right to live, the original or the upgrade? Beneath its shocking visuals and violent tone, The Substance is filled with rich, unsettling themes that reflect real-world issues in haunting ways. At its core, the film is a brutal commentary on ageism in media, especially the way women are discarded as soon as they pass a certain age. Elizabeth's character represents countless real-life stories of actresses, models, and public figures who are tossed aside the moment they stop fitting the narrow mold of youthful beauty. But the film goes deeper. It explores the fragile line between body image and identity. What happens when society tells you your worth lies only in how you look? Would you split yourself in two to become desirable again? Elizabeth's journey is both literal and symbolic, a woman being slowly erased by her own insecurities, by public rejection, and by a younger, more acceptable version of herself. Another major theme is the loss of control. Elizabeth creates Sue, thinking she can manage her, but Sue becomes unpredictable, rebellious, and even dangerous. It's a metaphor for many things: fame, addiction, obsession, all things people believe they can control until they spiral out of hand. Lastly, the film tackles the addiction to youth, not just the desire to look young, but the belief that youth equals power, attention, and value. The Substance shows what happens when that addiction turns physical, psychological, and violent. It's a disturbing mirror held up to a society that celebrates beauty and punishes those who age. From the very first scene, The Substance makes it clear this is not your typical horror movie. The visual style is bold, symbolic, and overwhelming. Every frame is packed with meaning, from the gleaming perfection of Sue's skin to the decaying flesh of Elizabeth's fading body. The contrast is extreme, deliberate, and uncomfortable. The film dives deep into body horror, with scenes of transformation that are hard to watch, but impossible to ignore. There are moments when the body becomes a battlefield, a prison, and a weapon. Think melting skin, pulsing veins, and grotesque rebirths. The effects are mostly practical, not digital, which makes them feel disturbingly real. Bright, almost glowing colors are used throughout, but don't let them fool you. These candy-colored visuals are paired with some of the darkest themes imaginable. The bright pinks, reds, and neons are used to lure you in, before hitting you with the full force of what's beneath. The tone shifts constantly. It starts with quiet sadness, turns into psychological horror, and eventually explodes into chaotic madness. By the end, the film feels like a full-body experience, something between a nightmare, a dream, and a tragic confession. It's uncomfortable, but unforgettable. One of the film's greatest strengths is its cast. Demi Moore delivers a raw, unfiltered performance as Elizabeth Sparkle. This isn't the glamorous version of Moore that many viewers remember. Here she's broken, bitter, and angry. Her portrayal captures every crack in Elizabeth's carefully controlled life, and her descent into despair feels frighteningly real. It's a performance that many are calling her best in decades. Margaret Qualley is equally compelling as Sue. She plays the younger version of Elizabeth with a sharp, seductive energy. But Sue is not innocent. She's calculating, curious, and increasingly dangerous. Qualley's performance shifts from charming to terrifying with subtle, eerie precision. Watching her evolve is one of the most disturbing parts of the film. And then there's Dennis Quaid, playing the corrupt producer who first rejects Elizabeth and then profits from Sue's success. His performance is exaggerated, almost cartoonish, but that's the point. He represents a world that feeds on beauty and discards its creators. He's grotesque in a very specific, intentional way. Together, these three actors bring the film's twisted world to life. Their chemistry is uncomfortable, their dynamics shift constantly, and their performances ground the surreal plot in something deeply human and deeply painful. Despite its disturbing content, The Substance succeeds on many levels. First and foremost, it has a strong message. one that feels timely and important. It dares to speak about issues that many films avoid, especially in the horror genre. The themes of ageism, identity, and obsession are not just present, they're the backbone of the story. The performances are another highlight. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley carry the emotional and physical weight of the film with incredible range. Moore gives a devastating portrayal of a woman unraveling, while Qualley embodies the dangerous thrill of youth unchecked. Then there's the practical effects and makeup, which are nothing short of shocking. The transformations feel tangible, gruesome, and visceral. They don't just look painful, they feel painful. The film doesn't rely on digital trickery, which makes everything far more grounded and real. Finally, the movie doesn't hold back, and it goes all in on its concept. It's not afraid to be too weird, too bold, or too violent. That risk pays off. It makes the film stand out, and it leaves a lasting impression. But let's be honest, the substance won't be for everyone. One of the film's biggest weaknesses is that its message can feel too loud at times. The metaphors are not subtle. The visuals hammer the point over and over again. Some viewers may feel like they're being lectured rather than entertained. The movie is also extremely graphic. The body horror, while meaningful, can be overwhelming. People sensitive to gore or disturbing imagery might find it hard to sit through. It's not a film you can casually watch with popcorn on a Friday night. Another issue is the pacing. While the beginning builds tension beautifully, the middle section slows down, and the final act becomes chaotic, almost too chaotic. Some viewers may feel lost in the madness or wish the story had a bit more structure. Lastly, the film is emotionally heavy. It doesn't offer relief, comic relief, or comfort. From beginning to end, it's a relentless experience. That makes it powerful, but also exhausting. The substance is not a movie made for comfort. It's not gentle, it's not easy, and it doesn't want to be. This film is raw, wild, and unapologetically intense. It grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go. And long after it's over, it lingers. If you're someone who appreciates horror that isn't just about jump scares, but about real human fears, this is a film worth watching. It dives into our obsession with youth, the way society punishes aging, and the impossible standards placed especially on women. It's terrifying not just because of the gore, but because of the truth buried beneath it. But make no mistake, this movie isn't for everyone. It's violent, it's graphic, it's emotionally exhausting. Some will call it brilliant, others might call it unbearable. Either way, it demands a reaction, and that's exactly what great horror should do. In a world full of recycled plots and predictable stories, the substance dares to be original, confrontational, and deeply disturbing. It's not just a film, it's a statement. Now here's a question for you. Would you take the substance if it promised a better, younger version of yourself? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this breakdown helpful or thought-provoking, give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Movies Review, for more deep dives into horror, thrillers, and the films that leave you thinking long after the screen goes dark. Thanks for watching, and remember, perfection might look beautiful on the outside, but what's the cost on the inside? We'll see you in the next review. Stay curious, stay cautious, stay watching.